All right, so I had a viewer ask about the wheel and tire combination along with the suspension regarding my 12-valve Cummins swap K3500 GMT400 platform truck. So I'll start with the wheels and tires. So the wheels are a 17 by 9 KMC XD series. I forget the model wheel, but 6-spoke. And I've got the Nitto Terra Grappler G2, and it's a 305 7017. Nice size tire, I feel, for this truck. It fits the truck well, obviously same size all the ways around. So that's wheel and tire. Next, let's start with suspension up front. So starting up front, I have 3-inch torsion keys. I have a custom built set of 3-inch lifted upper control arms with Delrin bushings. These trucks are a little difficult to get, off the shelf lifted control arms for. I had to have these made. And the whole deal is there's no ball joint spacer, as you can see, and it has the correct ball joint angle. So that was a big improvement. Next, it has a 2-inch front diff drop. So that drops the front diff down to keep the CV axle angle from being so extreme. I did put all new bushings in the factory lower control arms, ball joints, tie rod ends, etc. That is a first-gen Duramax from like a 2001 Duramax front diff. I grenaded the original diff in this truck, so it's pretty close to bolt in, just a little modification on the fins on the case. Next is the BDS skid plate and front diff skid plate. So that was a pretty nice score, and that's for these trucks in like the early 2001 Duramaxes. So obviously it's got the skid plate for, like the radiator in the engine, and then the diff skid plate. Let's see here. Next, shocks. Rancho, just regular new Rancho replacement, shocks. They are for lifted. I think they're like 1 to 3 inch, front and back. I like those. They still run those on some of the new Chevys on the Z71 package. The rear end. So this is a 1-ton single wheel truck, crew cab long bed. So this does have the heavier leaf spring lift pack in it from the factory. I do have airbags, and I actually have a Beltec drop shackle back there. You can see that. It's on the lowest setting. So the upper setting would be for a 2-inch drop. That setting's for a 1-inch. The truck sits pretty close to level. The reason for doing that is because, again, 1-ton truck, this thing sat really high in the rear end. And whenever I put the trailer over there, my equipment trailer, and weight on the back of this thing, I just run about 40, 50 pounds of air in the back, and it stays level and rides nice. So that's the rear suspension. And then the last thing, the biggest thing in my opinion, is that it does have a 2-inch body lift. So I put all new cab mounts on it, and I did the 2-inch body lift. And the reason why I did that wasn't for looks or anything, it was for serviceability. And what I mean by that is when I did this diesel conversion on this truck, and it's DCS is the conversion kit, Diesel Conversion Specialist. So it's a bolt-in kit. I've got that on my other videos if you haven't seen that. All you were supposed to have to do is roll the pinch weld molding at the bottom of the firewall where the floor meets. And when I did that initially and had all this together and set up, the body was really close to the transmission, to the bell housing and the bolts and the transfer case. There was no way in the future to be able to get that out. So I went ahead and did the 2-inch body lift, and I'll show you right here in the back. So here's the bed. So there's one of the 2-inch spacers. Here under the factory bed supports, I tack welded in, a piece of 2-inch square tubing. That's a heavy 11 gauge tubing, and So the reason why I did that, getting back to that, is that in case, you know, I ever broke the transmission or transfer case, and sure enough, I grenaded the transfer case on this thing, so it's got a bolt-proofed NP241C transfer case, and then just recently I broke the transmission. So it's good I did that, because I was able to pull all those components out without having to unbolt, lift the body up. I think you would have to unbolt the body and jack the body up to get the transmission and or transfer case out of this truck, or out of one of these trucks after the swap. So that's basically it. So that's to recap: wheels and tires, KMC XD 17x9, Nitto 305 7017, the 2-inch front diff drop, the custom built 3-inch lifted upper control arms, 3-inch keys, BDS skid plates. I mean, it's not a part of the lift, but it is. The Beltec drop shackles in the back set on the 1-inch drop with airbags, and the 2-inch body lift. I'll walk around here. So yeah, that's it. Hope that answers some questions, and let me know if there's anything else. Another shot right here.